So now we're going to start sketching our motifs. I've purposefully chosen some new motifs that I've not worked with very much before. So this will feel as new to me as it is to you, and anything can happen. I'm going to look through my Pinterest board and sketch a few of the characters that I might want to work with in my painting. I'm going to start with the red pandas. I've never drawn red pandas before, so this is new to me, but I really like their dark eyes and their bushy tails. So I want to just explore their forms a little bit and think through how I might use them in a painting. I like the way these two are sitting together in the tree, and the fact that they are both looking down at something, which immediately suggests a story. What are they looking at? What has captured their attention? This one here, I think this tail belongs to him, and this tail belongs to him, and this has potential for some stripes. So stripes could be a fun element to include in the painting. And their gaze is looking down at something. The next one I'm going to look at is this little guy who's just basically a blob with a face and a cute little ear, which will actually lend itself to watercolor painting. Like that, a little eye coming down there. As you can see, this is very rough. He's looking that way. He's on a branch. And this part is in shadow. There's no need to get stressed about these drawings. It's just sort of learning the subject a little bit. This one is going to be slightly trickier because he is walking, and this will be quite a difficult pose to get right. We'll have a go. Back leg, something like that. And then nose and a little eye coming down there. And he is also on a branch, something like that. These legs are darker than the rest. And this ear sort of has a dark bit in there. And he's looking that way. This one is quite nice because it's got this curve of the body, head, legs, and tail coming down like that. That's just quite a nice shape, dark there, and ear there, and eyes sort of like that, dark here, legs coming down in front, and then the branch is coming in there and down there. I like him. So, and I like his stripy tail, and he's looking, the nose in there, he's looking that way. So I'm going to go on and have a look at the big black and white pandas. So these suggest to me that they might be the main characters just because they're so big and black, and you know, everybody loves a panda. Something that I could think about is incorporating some line drawing into the painting, which is something I haven't tried before, but could be quite fun. So I like this one of him sitting sitting down. It's got quite a nice shape, and there's a lot of dark there and here, and the black ears. This one where he's sleeping, just getting an idea of the shapes. That should come a bit more like that. This is the black. Ear around there and here, and then the eyes sort of there and there. He's quite nice. Now I notice that I can't see the back of him, so I don't know how he ends, and I might have to bring a leaf or a flower or something in there. But I could have him sitting on a tree instead of on that man-made thing. This one is quite sweet, the way he's peeping out from behind the tree. Those little black ears. I quite like the possibility of using negative space to indicate things in my painting, so that's something I want to keep in mind. This guy's got this funny shaped nose, and then this head coming around there, bigger ears. Okay. And black here. Now I like the idea of this black part of the panda being quite loose and washy in watercolor. That's something to explore. This one is really lovely with his arm hanging down. Total relaxation. I hadn't considered doing line drawing for the pandas, but actually now that I'm just playing around with these sketches, I'm thinking that might be something to consider. And this bit is dark. And I don't want to show man-made structures in my painting, so that would have to be a branch that just ends there. That bit would be dark. That bit would be dark. And little eyes are dark. And this bit here would be dark. I like that one more than I thought I would. Okay, so I'm enjoying these pandas a lot more than I was enjoying the red pandas, and it's possibly because they're bigger and their eyes are more defined on their faces. I'm going to have a look at the monkeys now. Monkeys are going to be a little bit harder because their heads are smaller, and getting the proportions right will be a bit more challenging, but it's still worth having a look. This guy has got his little legs on this two strings and his head about there, and I quite like his black on his face. He's got quite round black eyes. Yeah, I like him. This one is sitting on his tree, and then he's got his arm dangling down as if he wants to help something, another one up maybe. And immediately again there's a story here. What is he reaching for? What's happening down below? So there's room to explore what's happening here. His face is in here, little dark patch there. So I like him. I like his long arm and his vision is going that way. I might have more fun with these monkeys than I thought. These two, they look quite human in the way they're standing. So there's a similarity with this one, except his legs are obviously dangling down. Very humanoid in its pose, and I don't know if I want that in my painting, so I might end up deciding to avoid this one. This one is very pensive, sitting on his little branch, and I like, he's got quite a blocky shape, little face, legs, another arm here. Might be a bit tricky to do in watercolor, but we'll see. I like his little dark face, which is in here. And again, makes you think, well, what is he looking at? His branch is coming that way, which could be a nice diagonal. I've got this one, which is quite fun, just a little blob sitting on his tree stump. So, right, that face is way too big. So the faces are quite small. He's got this lovely relaxed hand coming down here. And he's got an arm or a tail, I don't know, something going down there. Okay, this is a terrible drawing, but that's okay. So the monkeys that I'm liking best are this one, and that one, which is useful information. I've also got some tigers, which I think are going to be really hard to draw, but let's just give it a go. I'm not even sure I want tigers in my painting. There's a bit of a tiger trend at the moment, which is partly why I was curious about them, but the forms are quite difficult. The back stripes appeal to me a lot, but the eyes are tricky because they're so tiny. I saw a tiger a few months ago at a wildlife park, and it was amazing. It's the first time I've actually seen a real tiger, and it was just so majestic. It was incredible. So just even having a look at the form of this animal makes me think I'm going to leave out tigers, because I think they'll be too difficult to do in the style that I'm imagining my painting might be. So I'm going to leave those out. And then I've also got some lovely flowers. I looked up the national flower of China and got a list, one of which was plum blossoms, and these will be beautiful to paint and just will be quite nice to paint really big, and you could really make the most of watercolor qualities with these flowers. So I think these are going to be some of my main motifs. I've also got bamboo, and I want to use bamboo stalks to create structure in my pattern. They've got these cross pieces, and they can work in clumps. They can indicate direction. So these will be quite useful structurally in my painting. And then I've got bamboo leaves, which will be easy to paint and hopefully will form the link between things, the filler. So we've explored our motifs and selected which ones we want to work with, which ones we want to discard, and we're now ready to move on to compositional thumbnails and color mapping. I'll see you there.